Well, good morning. My name is Kevin, and today is I have to look, 15th of November. Yesterday I thought it was October still. The days are just rolling along, tumbling in, tumbling forward. I hope you're well. I'm dealing with a little bit of toothache, but nothing that's crazy, terrible. Just one of those dull nuisances that we get from time to time, part of being a bright spirit in a physical body. So I did my shuffling this morning, and I have to say it was a bit of a challenge. I wasn't sure what kind of message I was getting. So what I tend to do with, you know, I see everything as a vibration, everything is energy, um, and I have the ability, as do you, to make that change at any given moment. I think that the spirit that anchors itself in the body is pliable, malleable, movable, and interchangeable. Um, and there are two sides. There's spirit, which is all of it, but in spirit there is the ego as well, and the ego is rooted in a number of different things. I find that the ego can be helpful and useful when it comes to needing confidence, when it comes to needing that feeling of, okay, I'm just going to go do this, where you want that extra oomph. Sometimes spirit pulls into the ego and says, come on, let's go, you can do it, and pushes. That's where ego's good. Competition, friendly competition, anytime that you're using the egoic side of spirit for the good of others and yourself, then it's a good thing. But then there's also the other side of ego, which is still part of choice, which isn't so good and isn't so helpful. It seems temporarily that we get what we want by digging into the ego. And for that, I mean, let's say you're planning a special event, or you're going somewhere, and you need a new outfit. There's an ego that says, I shouldn't spend this money because I don't feel worthy, haven't got it, don't know if I financial priorities, financial lack, and poverty. That's also the not so good ego. On the other side, digs into the heart. You picture yourself at the event, looking your best, in incredible clothing. Everybody's sort of, wow, you look amazing, you look good. And there is this feeling, this vibrational feeling that lifts you up, that has you feeling good. That's the good part of ego. Now, where it gets ratchet and where it gets twisted, and where I'll get to the two cards I got, which gave me this weird message, is what if you are using that example to place yourself in a position that is what you perceive to be above other people? That's where ego isn't so great. That's where ego plays a bit of games. And I was using this as an example um, when I think about music. In today's society, music is very different to what it was when I was growing up. But then it was when my parents were growing up. In the 1940s, Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, the Andrews Sisters, those orchestras, big bands, and then you sort of morphed into the Fred Astaire's and the Ginger Rogers and all of those old classic musicals. Then all of a sudden rock and roll comes along, and you've got Elvis Presley that started off as a gospel singer and turns into this you know hip swinging, pivot pushing man that people went mad for. You fast forward, and then you have the Beatles, and then you fast forward, and the Beatles were connected to the hippy dippy world of LSD and all of this. I'm going off topic, but what I'm saying is, look at how the ego can get twisted and manipulated if you're not careful, if you're not really paying attention. Um, and this is where the first card came up. So, as I've said, I sat here about 20 minutes ago, not really sure what message was coming. And as I've said before, I've done this maybe for a couple of months, and so there's only 44 cards in the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms deck, and I'm wondering, is it time for me to change some things? That's what I was pondering. Should I take a step back and change up a few things, and maybe alter my approach to doing this? Well, lo and behold, I was guided to, as I usually do, turn the cards around and place them one at a time on the table. Incidentally, oracle cards are personal. They're not to be confused with tarot. Tarot's like a pictorial journey, which is lovely if you can find the right cards that vibrate with you. You'll know it because you feel it. You feel your eyes are drawn to it, your spirit's drawn to it. There's a lot of curiosity around it, and you start turning the pictures of these cards over. You're like, oh, I like that. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I think it's what drew me to Kyle Gray's second Angel Guide deck. I've looked at the first one he did. I'm not sure I vibrate with them as much as these. Anyway, so I put them all down, put them back together, shuffled them out, and then one card popped up, which then landed the message partly. I wasn't sure because I got a few that I'd seen before, and I thought, well, I don't think these are it. And when you get those, I'm not sure this is right. That's what you go with. Your first impression, the first intuition is step back and be like, I'm not sure that's quite right. And you move right on from there. The second guessing is part of the ego that gets us into trouble. The second guessing is the ego that's trying to manipulate. The first intuitive message you get about anything, a feeling about a person, a feeling about a parking spot, a feeling about whether or not you should get something at a store, that first hit, that first push, that's your truth because it comes from a pure source. Second guessing is where ego gets to manipulate the present by pulling in warnings and information from something you've already done that gets to twist it and turn it. And then we sit in this, yeah, but I really like that. But no, but we start doing this. We start having this conversation that makes no sense. So here we go with the card. It is the Eagle King. Let me put it up the right side round. I don't think I've brought the Eagle King in very often. The big picture and angelic help. So it showed up as a challenge this morning. And the challenge really talks about you can't see the forest for all the trees. You can't see what's important. You can't see the bigger picture. You can't see the whole landscape if you are stood right here and all you can see is the issues that are in front of you. And there's a point to this, and we'll meditate on it because it came up for me the last 2 days. I'm sure it might have done for you. So then I'm thinking, well, how do I frame this message into something I can meditate with and send people out with? I then got my friend's Angel Guide Oracle guidebook and I did my shuffling very, very quickly. This one, the last card in the whole deck, called Yes. I believe it's the last card. And immediately this image, which I find oddly delightful, it is just a playful angel, playful nymph, all covered in rainbows, dancing and giggling and carrying on like you wouldn't believe. And it's just this big yes. It's this big yes. Go do it. Don't matter. Have at it. You The world is your oyster, go dance, play, sing. I thought, well, these two seem to be the opposites. What is this? And I landed on this feeling that here we are, the close of 2020. Some folks look at this as worst year of their lives. And what I'm understanding is that every single New Year's Eve, everybody wants to kick the old year to the curb. It seems that at New Year's Eve, midnight, 5 till midnight, half an hour, whatever that is, people are digging into the feeling of what went wrong with the year, hoping that what's going to be right with the next year coming. And then I'm looking at where we are right now in our culture. Yesterday, somebody reminded me that there's a possible United States lockdown again because of the pandemic. Okay, people going out buying crazy things. I happened to be at a big box membership store yesterday and noticed once again there's no toilet paper. Which leads me to saying, what in the world is this is nuts. And stepping back, seeing the bigger picture, it won't stop my heart from beating. It won't stop me from loving other people. It won't stop me from bringing a message of peace, of development, of growth, of just all of the things that I feel is so important. It will not stop the sap from rising up inside a tree next spring. It will not stop daffodils and tulips and bulbs from coming up through the dirt. It won't stop hibernating animals from waking up. That's the bigger picture. Life doesn't stop because a group of people tell you we're going to lock you in your house and we're going to spoon feed you nonsense, and all you're going to be doing is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That's just nuts. I can't say advice, I don't give advice. My nugget, I like nuggets, is pay attention to the bigger picture. For me personally, that looks like dump anything and everything you don't need, that you don't want, that you've used up, that you've had enough of. Go through your fridge, go through your cupboards, go through your linen closets, go through your underwear closets, go through your clothing closets. There's something that you keep for best. There's something you use for every day. And there's something you use for doing chores. It falls in one of those three piles. If you're unnaturally attached to clothing that you haven't seen, worn, or looked at in years, why? What is the sentimental value you have to that piece of cloth? And then look at it. It might be a finely made piece of cloth. If your relative made it, if your grandmother, great-grandmother, somebody in your life actually physically put that cloth against a machine and tailored it for you, I get that. That's like important. That's got a value to it. That's got an appreciation to it. That's got a lift to it. Same as if you saved up for 6 months to buy a dress, a suit, and it came from a designer house like Chanel or Dior or one of those. Yes, that means something to you. It represents the hard work and an achievement. But if it's an off-the-rack shirt you're holding on to because you may want to wear it one day, you don't know what day that is and where you're going to wear it to, discard it or donate it. All right, let's get to a meditation. As usual, big breath in, fill up the whole body with all this free air. With one big blast, let go of anything and everything that gets in your way. And start integrating your spirit. The soul anchors the spirit to the physical body through the feet, through the seat, Bring your mind to every part of your physical body, beginning with the lowest point, which should be the feet. If it's not, it's the seat. And recognize what part of your foot is connected to the earth. If you're seated in lotus with your knees open, your chest open, your back open, bring your hips up higher than your knees. It's a natural alignment of your spine. And as if you were looking at yourself either from above or behind or from the side or from the back, imagine that you can take your conscious mind outside your physical body and take a look. See where your posture is. Take a look. See how your posture is. Meditation is your connection to a greater power that daily living does not tap into. The greater practice of meditation, of being in the experience of your body, your physical body, making the connection with your spirit and your soul, brings together the two. Wisdom and higher knowledge employs the spirit and the body to work harmoniously together. Using the image in your third eye center, the image of your body from your vantage point, experience where you can lengthen the spine, have the experience of witnessing your chest open, your upper back open as you breathe in. And be the experience of letting go and releasing out. Hear what you are listening to. There is audible listening, the noise that disrupts the quiet. the sounds that give the ears something to listen to. There is the mental listening, the ideas, the images, and the thoughts. Disconnected from the present moment, use the time you have right here and right now in the experience of the listening and the seeing to fine-tune your vibrational energy. Be the experience of having this moment as a completely different moment than any other moment you've ever had, because it is. If you are receiving this meditation and this message in the present, is being delivered to you in the right now, even in every rebroadcast, have the experience of bringing the message to the present time, which it is, continue breathing, having the experience of how the breath feels entering your body, letting go of the moments that passed on each and every exhale. Sitting in sacred silence requires practice and discipline. Meditation is our sacred pathway to divine intelligence. Continue listening to the sounds that you hear, listening to the thoughts that your mind is presenting. Finding interest, new experiences, fresh perspective to everything. And begin to bring your attention to your environment. Bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Honor yourself for sitting, meditating, whatever time you're meditating. Lift your thumb knuckle up between your eyebrows. Namaste. That was different. Thank you. There's a shift I feel after I've meditated like this every day that sort of sets me up for the day. A bit like turning the page on a essay book, a sketchbook, a new canvas. It is a new day. We don't get the same 24-hour time frame twice. There's an analogy that some author at one point used. We never, water never runs under the bridge. Same. You can cross the river, but you're never crossing the river with the same water. Something like that. I'm getting it muddled up, but basically same principle. Everything's movement, everything's flow. I've talked about this before. The rain comes down, hits the mountains take it to the streams that open the rivers into the ocean, and back up again it goes. My point to this is, if you find yourself cycling this on that merry-go-round of what's going to happen next and you want to get off, just stop, take a step back, be polite and mindful, and know that those who are bringing you that information that are spinning in their stuff, let them spin in their stuff. That's their stuff. Sometimes people spin to a degree where they want you to believe in what they believe in because it makes them feel validated or that's them. It's a tough road to realize that we all came here as individuals. We have different DNAs. And the beauty of it is, wow, you see things differently, fresh, interesting, with a new pair of eyes. And folks who haven't got that far, haven't turned that corner, or haven't uncovered their own potential, don't see it. But the fact they're paying attention to you who do see it is a big difference. All right, my friends, happy Sunday. Thanks for being with me. Please share this, like, subscribe, whatever that is that everyone wants you to do. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, same channel. Bye.